Alex W. Leith here, and I'm making this video as per the request of my friend Cynthia Tatamy regarding a few of us on Facebook to, share stories of faith and, I guess some semblance of our belief system and so forth. I'm going to preface this with my issue is never to attack anyone's faith. That's not my position. You believe what you believe, and if you're living a productive life, helping others, and just being a decent human being, if whatever faith that is, if that helps you do that, then that's awesome. It's a wonderful thing, because so many people use their faith, particularly nowadays, but they've always done it, but because we're living in this particular era, we see it, use their faith to murder, maim, start war, because they believe that their faith tells them to kill people. Their faith tells them people should be hungry, and that they're a superior people, and whatever. They think their faith tells them, or they believe that their faith tells them. So, my position is not to attack anyone's faith, provided for me, if you're living a decent life, a good parent, good human being, productive, being of a service to society. That's a wonderful thing, regardless of what your belief system is. But, let me get to it. Regarding biblical descriptions and scriptures and things of that nature, I understand, just being a human being, that there's a higher power here at work. The sun is always burning. The earth is always turning. The universe is endless, it's infinite. We need air to breathe. We can't see it, but we know we need it to breathe. We know we need it to sustain life. Flowers come around the same time, every season or every year. Ants come out the same time every year, disappear the same time every year. We, as human beings, are all created the same. And what I mean by that is, every man that's a human being is built the same way. We have the same genitalia, beard, mustache, whatever. A man is a man, regardless of what color he's wrapped in. Same thing with, women. No matter what the color is, women are women. No matter what color they're wrapped in, they're designed the same way. Same genitalia, breast, the whole thing. So I don't really understand a lot of times the racist thing. I understand it. I'm not ignorant to it. I speak out a lot about it. But it's just a kind of ignorant way to think. Some people think that they're superior just because they have a different skin color, different hair texture, or whatever it may be. I think a lot of people have issue going against or addressing conventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom is something that you probably was born or raised with. Maybe your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your mother, your aunts, taught you a certain way. And you grew up with that. And you believed it because you loved and trusted them. You took them at face value. They fed you. They gave you a place to live. They clothed you. So you believe what they told you. And very seldom do people, as they venture in the world and go to adulthood, kind of go out and explore and find out things for themselves. They just ride with whatever it was that they were taught by those they loved and respected, and those that loved them. So they just pretty much go through life with that mindset. This is why we're having so many problems with police forces and the legal system, and things throughout the country going on right now. An perfect example is I give you is, if if a young white boy is raised in a racist household, he hears the N-word in his house every day of his life, every news story he sees is some negative stuff that black people are doing, his father hates black people, his mother hates black people, he's not even exposed to black people prior to he's 12, 13 years old. So everything he's ever gotten about black people has been negative. Now he wants to be a police officer. He wants to go to the academy. He does all his training. He get comrades in the force. Some raised like he was, some weren't. He takes this oath to protect all people. Use a certain amount of force when necessary. Take all these oaths and all this training. But when you get out in the field, what he was raised to believe, how he was raised to be, will kick in over that oath of office any day of the week. It just, he is who he is. The difference is he is who he is with a gun in his hand. This is not to attack white police officers. It goes, again, for any color I guess you're wrapped in. We just seem to be having a lot of problems at this particular juncture with white police officers and black males at this point. But once again, I believe in a higher power. But people are taught to believe certain things and don't venture out and do their own research and due diligence to find out what the real facts are. I know for me, I always feel like that higher power, that higher spirit is within me, guiding me to do the right things. I don't always do the right things, but the guide is there. You know, we all have that, you know, you see the cartoons where, you know, the angel's on one shoulder and the devil's on the other shoulder. That's just your conscience. That's what that is, you know, telling you, don't do this, Alex, or, you know, it's okay to do it, even if it's the wrong thing. You got a certain side of your conscience telling you, it's okay, nobody knows, you know, but your character is doing the right thing when nobody else is looking. That's what character is about. I used to be very much a prayerful person. I used to pray a lot, particularly when my first marriage was going down the tubes. I couldn't understand what was happening to me, losing everything, my house, my cars, not being around, you know, my children as much as I had been, being in the same house with them regularly, greatly affected me. You know, so everything was just crashing down. And, you know, I took to the Bible, had my mother's Bible. That's the only possession I've had of hers since she passed away. And I kept that because she wrote in it, and her handwriting I see and things like that. So it's kind of, you know, dear to me in that regard. But I was praying for a lot of things when I was going through my bad stint, maybe 10 years or so, or more than 10 years, maybe 12. Now, I didn't see where God was working. It doesn't mean he wasn't working. Just mean I didn't see it. And there are always things taking place behind the scenes that you or I have no idea that are taking place that's going to turn your life around or change your life or, you know, get you what you've been praying for and so forth. But I will say this. It's going to take action on your part to get these things done. We sit around all the time, people who are, you know, so-called religious people or spiritual people. They sit around praying for stuff and they wait for God to move. Well, God's waiting for you to move. He can't do anything if you don't move. You can't read the Bible and read faith without works is dead and you don't want to work. You got faith that he's going to change something, but you don't want to do anything. That's not how this thing works. You know, I learned how to stop praying for the same thing over and over again. Because if you keep praying for the same thing over and over again, not only does that display a lack of faith, that's begging. You're begging God to change a situation for you that he's not going to change. Or he's not going to change it when you want him to change it. Okay? we always want things that's not necessarily the best for us because we want to feel good at the moment. I know people who's been in 15, 20, 30-year marriages praying for the same thing over and over, and a damn thing changed. In their mind, they may think it changed, but if you're complaining about the same thing 20, 25 years into a marriage, then you got issues. And you can't put that on God to keep praying to him about an issue that you refuse to address. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. God or no God, Jesus or no Jesus, okay? You have to take a step out and say, maybe this is the wrong situation for me. You know, I've been married. I'm married now. In a happy marriage right now, my second marriage, very happy marriage. I'm very content, very happy, very driven. But some people just stay. And you ask them, you know, they're Christian, you know, why do you stay in this situation? You know, they refer to the book of Malachi. Oh, for the Lord thy God, he hates divorce. And they read what they want to read, and they believe what they want to believe because it's addressing their agenda. But they don't address Moses being handed a certificate of divorce because of hardness of the heart. They leave that out because they want what they want. They want this marriage or this relationship, regardless of how bad or toxic it may be. They just want it. Okay? So, you know, they say that most marriages end because of infidelity or money. And I say that most marriages end because people get married for the wrong reasons in the first place. People want what they want. And whether it's good for them or not, they just want it. It looks good. It makes a lot of money. It feels good. You have all the signs telling you it's no good for you. But you want what you want. You get into a situation. It's a train wreck. Now you're praying for God to bless a mess. You want him to come save you. Change this person for me. Please, God. Make him do this. Please, God. Make her stop cheating. Make him stop drinking. Make her stop gambling, God. Make him lose some weight, Lord. You have to make a decision. At some point, it's on you. God gave you a brain to think. He gave you reasoning. He gave you logic. He gave you intuitiveness. All these things he's given you. But you choose not to do that. You choose to just pray about it every day, all day. And trust and believe, God is very busy. He's tired of you begging for the same thing over and over again. This is why he's not moving. Because you're not moving. You're begging. And nobody likes a beggar. Nobody. Not even the Lord, Almighty God, likes beggars. So to me, there are just so many issues that I have with, religion, different types of faiths and beliefs, because I listen to it all. I don't just say I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim, I'm a this or I'm a that. Everybody has different belief systems for whatever the reason, and you always have to consider the source. I mean, I asked a question on Facebook not so long ago. You know, well, who is King James? Who appointed him to translate this text into the Bible? And why did he have to go get 100 scholars to help him translate this text? One of which being the great William Shakespeare, to help him translate this text. And what about the other books that King James have written that are never addressed? We just go off the Bible, and we take the Bible and we make that the staple. When there are other documents that the Vatican has, these people have documents, scripture, letters, information that we're not privy to. Probably if we had all that information, some of our belief systems will change. When you're not informed, you only go off what you've been taught to believe. And only if you have the guts to challenge conventional wisdom. Because it's not to say, listen, I love my grandmother dearly, my mother, my aunts. I was raised by women. have a certain affinity for women. So I talk a lot about women today as compared to women in my day. Women today sometimes have an issue with accountability. You got the Dr. Phils of the world telling women that it's okay for you to do whatever you want. You don't have to be accountable. You know, his audience is women, so we know where his money's coming from, so he's not going to insult them. And they clap and carry on. But, you know, when you look at these things, you just know things for what they are. It's a business, you know. I'm not insulting the man's profession. I'm pretty sure he's intelligent. He has degrees and so forth. But at the end of the day, he has to make a business decision, okay? And he's never going to insult these women in his audience. If you look in his audience, for every 5 or 10 women, there's one guy. So his audience is primarily women. And so accountability for most, not just women, but for most, is a big issue in this society today as we have it. You know, when you know, religion is an organized set standard of rules and regulations that you must follow if you want to be in this particular group. And religion is what gets people into trouble. David Koresh, Branch Davidian, Waco, Texas, we all know who he was, had this huge following of people, and women and men, married couples, you know, took up at the Branch Davidian. And, you know, he told the husbands, listen, you can't sleep with your wife. Look, I can, and because I'm Jesus. So Jesus want all the booty now because he don't want nobody else getting no booty. See, that's scary to me. And you have people who believe that and stayed there and let Koresh, David Koresh, a.k.a. Jesus, sleep with their wife. You have a Brazilian pastor, another story I just heard about last year, who told his congregation that his penis contained holy milk. And had the women lining up to get some of that milk. Now, it sounds ridiculous, but this is what it comes to when your mind is weak and you believe anything and you'll fall for anything. I mean, that story alone made me want to go and start a church. As funny as it sounds, I should have went and started a church based off that story alone. I'll be happy every day. Come get this holy milk. So those kind of things are very scary, Jim Jones and his craziness. And you always hear about these cults. When you're not given the latitude of thinking, logic, assessment, reflection, researching where the world was, where the world is now, where do I come from? The people that taught me, who taught them? When you're not able or unwilling to do that, you kind of stay stuck, as a human being. I can go on and on about this. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time with this because I can go on forever and ever with, horror stories. The people in the Bible, wonderful stories, but those people was a hot mess. They were a hot mess. I mean, they were prostitutes, they were pimps, they were thieves, they were murderers, they committed incest, whatever they can do, they did it. And in stories of redemption, how I guess God moved in their life and changed them and so forth. And if you ask the average person who is a Christian or whoever follows the Bible, do they believe those people in the Bible are sitting up in heaven now? They'll tell you yes. So why can't you make all the mistakes they made and still make it in? I'm not going to spend the rest of my life worrying about making mistakes. Making mistakes is what people do. We learn from them. We try to do better. But we're always going to make mistakes. And either dumb or you're stupid. And there's a difference. Here's the difference. When you're dumb, okay, the difference between being dumb and being stupid, let me get my words right here. Being dumb is a temporary lapse in judgment, in which we're all privy to. We're all gonna do that. Being stupid is a lifetime commitment. You can't help a stupid person. If a person's committed to being stupid, they're gonna be stupid. And that comes from when you were dumb, you keep making the same mistake over and over again. It's no longer a temporary lapse in judgment. You are now making a decision to be stupid. Okay? So don't ask God to come in and save you from your stupidity. Because you can't be helped. You just can't. You know, there's in Revelations, there's a part in Revelations where you know, the big battle took place, and God actually banished Satan from heaven and sent him down here to earth. Now, he annoyed God so bad, God had to get rid of this fool. Okay? Banished them down to earth. And on the way down, while God was sending him down here, he says, "Woe to the inhabitants of earth, for he comes with great wrath, for he knows his time is short." Now here's somebody you sent down here who is considered the great deceiver, the father of all lies, the master manipulator, who aggravated you so bad, who aggravated God so bad, God had to get rid of him. But you send him down here to a people who the Bible considers us as sheep being dumb, okay, to deal with the father of all lies, a master manipulator, a great deceiver, so he can look the way he wants to look, he can talk the way he wants to talk, he can feed your ego, he can do whatever he wants to do because he knows where we're weak, okay? And then you tell us, and you send him down here as if it's some kind of setup, and then tell us, but if we fall for his mess, we're doomed to hell, we're going to burn up, we're going to this, we're going to that. Okay? That's a setup. You can't, that's like me taking 12 convicted rapists, okay, and locking my daughter in a room with 12 convicted rapists, and then say, listen, daughter, there's 12 rapists in there, but you better not allow them to have sex with you, because if you allow them to have sex with you, you're going to have to deal with my wrath. And then go sit her in there and lock the door. That's a setup. She's going to get raped. Okay? And I'm going to have to forgive her for allowing herself to get raped. Crazy analogy, but that's just the way I see it. So you have to be unafraid to ask questions. If you're afraid to ask questions, if you're afraid to challenge conventional wisdom, if you're afraid to stand up for something that just don't sound right, and this is not attacking anybody's faith. This is about being unafraid to ask questions and address things that don't make sense to you. Now, our Creator has an infinite wisdom. We can't think on that level. We can't even understand why the hell human beings do what they do, much less understand what God's going to do. That's why I have a problem when people say, this is what God's going to do. How you know what God's going to do? You're not on his level. He created you. You got a peanut brain. You're not on his level to know what he's going to do. Oh, Jesus is coming back. He's coming back any day. He's coming. He's coming. Listen, you got people who are living and you got people who are existing. The people who are existing walk around in a daze all day long. They are living to die because they want this great reward in the sky. You can't even ask them a simple question. Hey, listen, how's the weather going? I'm just seeing how God manipulates the clouds and how the sun breaks through. What the hell are you talking about? I asked you about the weather. I mean, their head is so much in the sky, they can't even think straight. Okay? You live down here on this earth. That's a reality. Okay? I'm not going to let anybody dictate to me about being afraid or fearful to go to hell, because I'm going to have a lot of company. Biblical people and all. We all want to be there. Okay? I'm not going to be afraid to ask certain questions, challenge a pastor, challenge a scripture, or whatever it may be. I can't be afraid of that because I have a mind to think. And that's not saying that I don't believe in a spiritual being. I hear the voices in my head. I hear the voices in my heart. Okay? I'm still here after all these years. I'm 48 years old. I've been through hell and back myself. I'm not insane. I'm healthy. Okay? Have a great family. Wonderful children. Great wife. The whole shebang. Okay? So, but that don't exclude the fact that so many times in my life I've been hungry. I come from the inner city, live with rats and roaches, okay, mice, cracks in the walls. When it rained, it came in the house. No winter coats, no socks. That's how I grew up. That's how poor we were. Okay, so it doesn't exclude where I am now. Doesn't exclude how I grew up. It is what it is. And I see blessings in that. But that only occurred because I made a decision that I didn't want to stay in my present condition. And when I made a decision, then God moved me in that direction. Because I had the guts to move where I wanted to move. And not just sit around and prayed and hope when I got home the situation would change. Which is what a lot of people do. And wonder why their situation don't change. So, you can't be afraid in this life. I just know too many people doing it. I know I probably sound like a broken record right now, but they just, I look at them and I'm shocked. How they just refuse to make the, they stay in relationships with people they know are no good for them. And they'll stay there and deal with the same stuff every day, all day. Why are you there? I got kids with them. So what? Why are you there? Oh, you may make too much money. I can't make it on my own. So what? You know, why are you there? If you ask the average person who's married or in a committed relationship and have children with the person or whatever, why do you love this person? If they start out telling you, well, you know, we got kids together and, you know, they got a good job and we've been together for a long time, so you don't love that person. You're used to them. I didn't ask you about no damn kids. I didn't ask you about the house or job. I asked you, what do you love about them? Tell me about this person that you love so much. You're looking for excuses to justify your stupidity. And kids, a house, nice cars will do that. They will let you stay in misery to justify your stupidity. Because you're just afraid. You're a scared person. You're afraid to move on. You're afraid to try different things, new things. There's a whole world out there, and you're stuck. So anyway, I'm approaching 30 minutes here. I'm just going to leave it at that. You know, I could say so much more. A lot of people are not going to agree with what I've said. That's fine. That's what this is about. You can agree to disagree. You can hate what I said, whatever. Once again, shout out to Cynthia Tatamy. She asked me to do this. She asked a lot of us to do it. And that's what I've done. So in any event, you guys take care. And you guys have a great day and a great rest of your life.